Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole, and today we'll be previewing this coming Saturday's meeting here from Fanny Bay, which is day 5 of the Great Northern Darwin Cup Carnival, Tab Metric Mile Day, the 26th of July. A 7-race card awaits us this Saturday, and the fields are excellent right across the meeting. The feature is the $50,000 Tab Metric Mile, which affords the winner the right to take their place in the $200,000 Great Northern Darwin Cup on the first Monday in August. The first of the 7 gets underway at 1:12 p.m, with the last, the Tab Metric Mile, time to go at 4:55 p.m. In the first, the Darwin Racing Maiden for the non-winners over 1,100 metres. My numbers are 2, 3 and 8. Going here with number 2, Thank God I Got Him. He's had the 3 starts here in Darwin, trained by Andrew Purdon at Sale, incidentally. He's had a 2nd and 2/3. Last start 3rd here behind Dynamic Theory was a good run, only beaten 1.2 lengths. He's racing really well, deserves a win. I think he gets his chance here. Aaron Sweeney takes the mount. For 2 on top to beat number 3, Predicting. Just forget he went round last time in his first start in Darwin. That was back on the 12th of July. He drew 11 that day, never on the track, did a lot of work in the run, and not surprisingly dropped out to finish at the rear. Raymond Viger was on that occasion. He's on again for Tayan Holder. Drawn a lot better this time in barrier 6, so I'm looking for him to go a much improved race. And in for 3rd, number 8, No I'm Not. Chris Pollard trains. Jessica Booth riding well during this carnival. She takes the mount here. This horse was 2nd last time out in the hands of Jess behind Dynamic Theory in that maiden win on the 12th of July, and has had the 9 starts for 2 seconds, 2/3, getting close to a win. Numbers in the first are 2, 3 and 8. The second, one of the features on the day, is the Silk Laser Clinic's Flying Sprint. This is one of the 2 races on the day that is a win and you're in race. If you win this, you're in the Palmerston next Saturday. So pretty important race, this one, and a good field assembled here. And my numbers are 3, 2 and 8. They're running the 1100 here, and I'm going with number 3, Hello World. He's had the 1 start here for Chris Nash, and he won over this trip in 0 to 70 grade. That was on the 5th of July, so day 1 of the carnival. Chris was going to run him last week in the Weight for Age, but he decided to wait a week and run him here in this event. And Sonia Logan retains the mount, drawn in the middle of the line at about barrier 6. I think he drew 6 or 7 last time when he won here. He looks a progressive horse, and as I say, if he wins this, he's in the Palmerston. Even if he runs probably in the top 2 or 3, he should get a run in the Palmerston. So I've got him on top, number 3, Hello World. Ahead of 2, Pharaoh Magic. Now, this was the horse that Hello World beat when they last met. Pharaoh Magic's come out since and had a very impressive win. That was last week here on the 19th of July. Beat Crazy Brave over this trip, bolted in actually, 4.5 lengths, was very impressive. Jared Todd goes aboard this week. Adam Nichols suspended for this meeting. He rode last week, and Pharaoh Magic should race well again. Drawn a little awkward out at barrier 8, but will still be in the mix. And then for 3rd, number 8, Brat. Terry Gillette trains. Stan Sakos in the saddle. He's had 2 starts in Darwin for 2 seconds behind Flying Annie and Zurata. He's racing well. He has drawn barrier 4. He'll be up on the pace from the outset and take plenty of catching. Numbers in the second are 3, 2 and 8. We go to the 3rd, the Mitties Handicap. Good supporters of racing throughout Australia. This, the 0 to 66 over 1,000 metres. Numbers here are 1, 6 and 2. Number 1, Wild Bow for me. Jessica Booth rides for Ella Clark. Very impressive, winning last time out over 1,100 metres. Drops back to the 1,000. He's very speedy, Wild Bow, but interestingly enough, he hasn't won at this trip. He's had 5 starts for 1 second, but he just gives me the impression that he's going really well now, this campaign. Jess Booth, as I mentioned, rides, claims the 3 kilos, so that takes the horse's weight down to 58 kilos, and that's only 3 kilos above the minimum, which puts him in really well here. I've got him on top, number 1, Wild Bow. Ahead of number 6, Juice Box. Tommy Logan trains. Sonia in the saddle. Just nutted in the Rose Bowl the other week on Ladies' Day. Only beaten the nose, looked home everywhere, but right on the post when Hellfire Miss got him. Or got her rather. The previous start here was a good 2nd. That was behind Rebellious Hope. So racing well, this mare. She's a 6-year-old now, so she's nearly 7 by Caroccio, and I've got her in to run 2nd. In for 3rd, number 2, Rustic Boom. I thought his last start effort here was an improved one. He finished 4th behind Zurata, beaten just under 5 lengths, trained by Neil Dyer. There was no rider listed when we did this edition of Track Talk, but he will no doubt take plenty of betting here, and I've got him in the mix. My numbers are 1, 6 and 2. We go to the fourth. This is the 3-year-old feature on the day. The tab we're on, Trobus 3-year-old handicap. It's worth $40,000, a benchmark 68 for the 3-year-olds, and a really good field assembled here. Numbers are 4, 3 and 10. Tricky race to work out this one. I went with number 4, Miami Baby, who came from last on the 12th of July to win. That was a huge effort after bungling the start. Got up late to beat Forget About It. Jason Lyon rides again for Chloe Baxter. That combination, of course, won the Derby last week with Capitol Hill. So Chloe's having a super carnival. And Grassy, I think, has ridden 4 winners now during the first 4 days of the carnival. So we're going with Miami Baby on top, number 4. Ahead of 3, the last start winner, Alpha Street. Heather Lehman trains. Jared Todd rode last time. He's in the saddle again. I tell a lie. Adam Nichols rode last time, but Todd takes the mount from Nichols, who, as I mentioned, is missing this week. Alpha Street's had 3 starts in Darwin, 2 wins and a 5th, so he has to be right in the party here. And in for 3rd, this mare, or this filly she is, she's a 3-year-old, trained by Paul Shires, Rossinato, number 10. She won a beauty the other day in the Rose Bowl up against older mares. She'd won her previous start in Maiden Company, and Paul had no hesitation in stepping her up to the Rose Bowl, and she went an absolute ripper. Finished 3rd, only beaten a tick over a length. Back to her own age group here, and drops back in trip by 100 metres. By 100 metres. She should again give a good account of herself. Numbers in the 4th are 4, 3 and 10. We go to the 5th. This is the TRNT off the track handicap, another at the 1200 metre barrier. Numbers here 1, 4 and 3. He's absolutely dying to win a race, isn't he? Number 1, Dummy Spit. He's run second in his last 3. So he's only had the 4 starts in Darwin this campaign. He ran 7th first up, then 3 seconds behind Luna Field, Kessler and Mr Marrakesh. So that's good enough form. It's very good form, in fact. Sonia Logan stays aboard. Drawn barrier 7 for Andrew Purdon. He should be very hard to beat, number 1. Number 4, Rising Fire, a fresh up here. I've got in for 2nd. Jason Lyon for Chloe Baxter. I saw this horse trial a couple of weeks ago. Impressed me the way he trialled. Has a bit of a tendency to run a placing rather than win. He's had 3 wins from 33 and 8 seconds and 5 thirds. But the way he trialled, if he reproduces that effort, he'll be hard to beat here. And in for 3rd, number 3, Captain George, has a bad barrier draw to overcome. But Jared Todd knows him well, of course, trained by Gary Clark. And his 2 runs recently, a 3rd and a 2nd behind Mr Jones and Alpha Street, have been really good. Numbers in the 5th are 1, 4 and 3. The last 2 are both over the 1600 metres. Race 6 is the Silks Darwin handicap. This a 0 to 70. Good field assembled here as well. And I'm going with the numbers of 2, 5 and 1. Pink Panther for me, Jared Todd. He could be in for a good day, Toddy, just with Chippy on the sidelines, and he's got some nice rides. He is on the board. I think he's ridden 3 winners during the carnival so far, so he's 4 wins behind Adam. So don't be surprised if he makes up a bit of ground on Saturday, Jared Todd. Pink Panther, of course, trained by Gary Clark. He's run 2nd and 4th his last 2. 4th the other day behind Hettinger in the Ridges Cup. That was a good effort, and I think gets his chance here to break through for a well-deserved win. In for 2nd, number 5, Funny If It Won. He was in the same race behind Hettinger and finished 6th, only beaten 2.9. He made up good ground late, Funny If It Won, and I think he's getting close to putting his foot on the till. Raymond Viger for Tayan Halter. And number 1, he's the ultimate in for 3rd. Chloe Baxter trains. Jason Lyon aboard. His last 2 runs have been good as well behind Tannenberg and Hettinger. So he, of course, won a metric mile here on this day a couple of years ago, so he must go in the mix as well. Numbers in the 6th are 2, 5 and 1. And we go to the feature. The $50,000 tab metric mile. This the last of the lead-ins to the Great Northern Darwin Cup. You win this, you're in the big race on the 4th of August, and a really good field assembled here for the 1600 metre feature. My numbers are 3, 7, 5 and 12. Well, he was beaten last time in the Chief Ministers, but he lost no admirers, number 3, Cinquetori. He had to do some work up on the speed. He got taken on, a lot of pressure for a long way in that race. He just went down late behind Hadouken. Paul Shires takes them out this week with Adam Nichols suspended. But of course, Shearsy knows his way around this track better than anybody. And of course, this one trained by Ella Clark. One negative is the barrier draw. He's drawn barrier 12. He'll come in a couple with the scratchings of the emergencies, but he's still going to have to do a little bit of work early. So it'll be interesting to see how Paul rides him. But I've got him on top, Cinquetori, to bounce back from that defeat in the Chief Ministers. In for 2nd, number 7, Wolfburn. He's been a little below par this campaign, but I'm still holding out hope that he's going to return to his best. He won this race last year impressively and then ran second in the Darwin Cup. Jared Todd for Gary Clark. I'm giving him another chance. In for third, number 5, Flash Flood. Also trained by Gary. Jason Lyon takes the mount. This horse was third behind Hadouken the other day in the Chief Ministers. That was a good run, I thought. Beaten 5.3. Jason Lyon rode on that occasion. He's on again. And my fourth selection's over the page, and it is number 12, Hettinger. He was so good winning the other day on Ladies' Day that I'm putting him in again. Jessica Booth takes the mount. Well done to Jess for that feature race win the other day on Hettinger. He's a specialist miler. He's been tried over cup distances and he just doesn't really get that hard 2,000 or 2,050 metres, but he'd be very hard to beat here, I'm sure, over the 1,600. So in the last feature, the Tab Metric Mile, my numbers are 3, 7, 5 and 12. Best bet on the day, race 3, number 1, Wild Bow. He was really good last time. Ella Clark's got this little horse flying, this 4-year-old, and I think he'll be very hard to beat. Race 3, number 1, Wild Bow. Well, the best long shot is in the first. Number 1, CP1. Formerly raced in Hong Kong to this horse. He's now back in Australia with Dick Leach. I saw him trial here earlier this week and I didn't mind his trial at all. Jason Lyon aboard. So keep an eye for race 1, number 1, CP1. Well, that wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk. We'll be back again early next week to preview day 6 of the carnival. That's Dabble Cup race day. Of course, that's next Wednesday. And that will probably be our last track talk because I'm just too busy in the week leading up to Cup weekend, as is my faithful cameraman, Fletcher Waters. So until next week, good luck and good punting.